Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar organized by Docsity in partnership with University of Liverpool. My name is Carolina. Nice to meet you all. And I'll be your host for today's event on behalf of Docsity. I see here that the first people are already starting to join in. We're going to wait a few minutes before starting to allow everyone to connect. In the meantime, feel free to say hi in our chat here in Zoom, and please tell us where you're from. We are curious. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us and thank our panelists for being here with us today. I want to introduce you all to Stephen Livesey, Director of Learning Technology, Ida Kemp, Deputy Academic Director, Rivi Barnes, Admissions Advisor, and Megan Barker, Student Support Advisor. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. Together with them, we're going to discover online programs from the University of Liverpool. We're going to find out about which courses are available, how to apply and funding options, and what support is offered to students. And we are going to learn more about the unique learning environment of studying online. And you also have the possibility to interact with our speakers and ask them questions. Talking about that, I'd like to remind you that after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where you'll be able to ask direct questions to the panelists. So don't be shy and just type all of your questions in the Q&A section here in Zoom, and we'll go through them at the end of the webinar. Also, for those of you interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Docsity for this free masterclass, stay tuned because we will post the link to get the certificate at the end of the session. So I think we are able to start now. Welcome to those who just joined us. And without further ado, I'm now leaving the floor to our panelists for their presentation. See you later and enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming today to find out about the University of Liverpool online programs. If we could have the next slide, please. Our team is going to talk with you today, and you all have already heard some of our names. Stephen Livesey, myself, Ida Kemp, Rivi Burns, and Megan Barker all work at Kaplan Open Learning in conjunction with the University of Liverpool. So we're here to support the students throughout the student journey, through admissions, through all the programs that you'd be experiencing as a student, and all the way through to graduation. Next slide, please. So today we're going to talk about the online programs. I'll give you a bit of information about the academic side. We'll show you the virtual learning platform itself so you can see how accessible it is. We'll talk about the admissions and the enrollment process, which is really streamlined and particularly suited for international online students. We'll also let you learn a bit more about our student support team and then have time for questions and answers. But I'm going to start out, if we might, for the next slide, to talk about the university itself. So the university itself is a red brick university, and in the UK this means that it's a university of very high standing. There's a certain number of universities that were established quite early on when universities were being established across the universities, across the United Kingdom, and Liverpool was one of the first of these. They're also a member of the Russell Group, and in the UK terms, that's about equivalent to an Ivy League university in the States. They're high profile universities. There's a lot of research that is undertaken there, and they're very attractive to the academic staff in the regions. So it's a really high quality educational experience. The university itself is associated with 9 Nobel laureates, is ranked in one of the top 200 universities worldwide, and has over 7,000 international students on campus, as well as over 10,000 online students. So you'll be a member of a larger community. And one of the nice things is that you will actually be considered a Liverpool student. So if you happen to be in the region, you can access you can actually go on campus, access the libraries, and attend the graduation ceremonies at the end of your program. So you will be considered a university student, not an online student, a university student. Could I have the next slide, please? So the programs that we offer are part-time and all at postgraduate level. So you should already have a degree before you apply. All of the programs are 100% online. So there's no times that where you have to come to the campus and meet with other students, and you can access the materials anywhere on the wherever you might be. But we also try to instill a real community of learning. So there's as much access on peer learning and learning from the other people on your program. And with an international student cohort, that means that you'll learn quite a bit about other places and how other things are done in other countries. The learning platform is on demand, so you can access it wherever you are. And we offer a very high level of teaching and support with a number of different lecturers who are experts in their field and almost all have PhDs, as well as the fact that we have student support and academic teams both within Liverpool and with our organisation to help you throughout your whole journey. Can I have the next slide, please? So the subjects we offer are around these clusters, but there are variations within these areas. They include management programs, computer science programs, academic practice, which is aimed at individuals who are already working in a higher education environment, law, health sciences, and psychology. And we offer a number of awards that you can start at. So if you're not sure if you wanted to start on a master's program, you could start on a postgraduate certificate and then see how you go, and then proceed to a diploma or the full master's if you wish to. So there's different steps along the way. Our management programs have 8 different programs. The computer science program has 5 different programs. We have 2 pathways on the academic practice. At the moment, we have 1 law program. We have several health sciences programs, and we have 3 psychology programs. Next slide, please. The management programs are listed here, and they all differ slightly. So the digital marketing is aimed at students who want to extend their careers in a marketing, or if they're already working in a different field and want to get skills in that area, that's designed. There's no expectation that you have any marketing before you start the program. It is the same for the finance and investment management. If you want to go into that field, we're not expecting that you have any have already experience in that area. But if you're already working in the field, obviously that greater level of depth will help on the promotion ladder. Our healthcare leadership program is designed for individuals who are working within the healthcare field and want to get the leadership skills that would get them to the next level, or to help within their roles to be able to plan and to promote the important elements that are found in a health environment. The International Human Resource Management Program is designed for individuals who want to gain skills in that area. And again, it's for students who might already be working in the area, or students or individuals who might want to explore the area and learn a bit more for their own progression opportunities. Our management program is designed for students who are just starting out in the management ladder. So there's a lot of elements that are designed to help you step up, to help you get the skills and the leadership qualities that you would need in order to get the promotions. But our Master of Business Management requires students to already be working at a certain level within their organizations. So the students on this program will already have been working at a higher level of management, will probably have some experience, but are looking for the theoretical underpinning that help their practice. And project management and sports business and management are again for individuals who are working in fields, want to extend their knowledge, want to make sure that they are ready for that next step in their career progression. Could I have the next slide, please? So we have a number of programs in computer science. Some of them require some computing background before you even enroll, and some of them are designed for students who don't have any computer science background. Our artificial intelligence, our big data analytics, the cybersecurity, and the information systems management all expect that students are working in the computing field or have a degree that will help them to demonstrate that they have experience and skills in that area. But if you're looking for something that doesn't require any academic or prerequisites in the computing field. That would be the computer science and the data science and artificial intelligence. And our admissions team, when you talk with them, can give you a lot more information about your suitability for any of the programs. All the programs are relatively flexible, so some of the modules are shared across the programs. So you will get a good understanding of the range of computing issues, and you can also decide to make some choices within the program about areas that you might be more interested in. But they are really popular, and computing is one of the biggest growing fields in the moment. So our lecturers are all PhDs. They are all working in the UK academic sector, and they also bring technical and knowledge from industry when they come. So the students that are on the program are very happy and enjoy it and do learn a lot, and it does help with their career progressions. Could I have the next slide, please? Our academic practice programs are designed for individuals who are working in a higher education or an educational sector and want to spend some time looking at how learning and teaching practice can be enhanced and extended. So this course is quite practical, but it also gives you the theoretical underpinnings. And but one of the nice things about this program is you learn a lot from your peers. So everybody else is pretty much at the same level, and there's a lot of emphasis on learning what other students are doing, what other participants are doing within their fields. And so you learn quite a lot about the higher education sectors in other countries and across the globe. We have a number of ways that you can enter the program. Most people start on the postgraduate certificate, but we now have the diploma and the full master's that you can extend to. And again, our admissions team can tell you a bit more about those programs. This is the program that I look after myself, and it's a really interesting program. Could I have the next slide, please? We have one program in law, and this is designed for either law graduates or graduates who don't have a background in law. And it's called International Business Law. This program is especially suited if you're working within an organization that might have a lot of issues that looking for moving globally. A lot of this is case study based, so you'll learn about what's happening in other countries and in other areas, and it's really practically based as well. So the students here are encountering other students who are working in different fields, different organizations, but getting that underpinning in law practice so that they understand the implications for their business and the expansion that is required for a business to extend. So the students here, again, are across the globe. We have a really wide student cohort, and that brings a really interesting mix to the students' experience. Could I have the next slide, please? We have two programs in health sciences, the Master in Public Health and the Healthcare Leadership. You may have noticed that the Healthcare Leadership also featured on our management slide. The healthcare leadership is very management focused, but it also is obviously intended for individuals within the health sector. But our Master of Public Health is particularly designed for individuals who want to get their understanding in how individuals impact on the wider society. So it's really important if you're a practitioner within the health field to think about the wider picture, to think about the larger picture about what happens on an individual scale or what happens on a small scale is actually magnified when you consider how it happens across a larger population. This program attracts students from across the globe as well, so it's really international in feel. And the University of Liverpool has a particular area of expertise in public health, so you will be well served by taking this program to extend your health knowledge and think more widely about the health sector in general. May I have the next slide, please? And our final set of programs are the psychology programs. None of these require that you have psychology as a first degree, although it might be helpful if you do. The psychology conversion program is accredited by the British Psychological Society. So if you're looking for an accredited program, that will help. The other two are not accredited, but that's not to say that the knowledge that you gain isn't important. It's just a different level of what you might, how you might use your qualification going forward. Again, these are at postgraduate level, so you're extending your experience at an undergraduate level and putting it in new contexts. These are really popular programs as well, and the student cohort, again, works very closely on peer knowledge as well, and all the academic team are PhDs and practitioners in the field. So you'll have access to the really cutting edge and research-led teaching that Liverpool is well known for. I think that's the final slide for me. If we might go to the next. So if you want any more information, then our admissions teams can help you, but you can also look online for the detailed information. There is more information about how the programs are structured on the website and what you can expect as a student. The programs themselves, as we mentioned earlier, are 100% online. And so there is flexibility for you to pursue them around your other commitments and your other personal and professional ideas and things that you tend to do. So thank you very much. I'm going to pass to Stephen now to show you the platform.
Great, thank you, Ida. For this part of the presentation, I'm actually going to share my screen. So let me just go ahead and share the right screen there. So hopefully you can see my monitor there. Great. Okay, thank you. So yes, my name is Stephen. I'm the Director of Learning Technology, and the purpose of this section of the presentation is to give you a bit of a sense of what it's like to study the online programs through the virtual learning environment. So I've logged into the platform as a demo student, and you'll see things from the student's perspective to give you that idea. First of all, the learning platform provides access to everything you'd need as a University of Liverpool student. So that's all your course materials, the lecture casts, contact details for your lecturers, the assignments, grades and feedback. But also you'll have access to online services such as the online library at the university. There are student support services, there's career support, student welfare. Everything is presented through the learning platform, and hopefully it's easy for students to access. We designed this specifically for online students, so it's nice and easy for them to navigate around. They can also use this platform on their laptop, desktop, mobile phone, tablet. It's all responsive depending on which device you are using. So it's a one central space for everything you need. This is the site homepage, but I'm going to go into, first of all, the dashboard that every student has access to. So your personal dashboard gives you an overview of the modules that you're enrolled in as part of your program. And I'll go into one of those in a second. But this is a space for you to see any upcoming deadlines, keep a track of your progress within those modules, and access the resources that you would need to successfully complete your full program of study. In this demo, I'm going to go into a computer science module, but the same applies for any of our programs, the same format, the same learning platform. So it doesn't really matter that I'm in a computer science program, the same principles and the same design applies across all our subject areas. So this is the homepage of one of our taught modules. And on the left-hand side, we've got a navigation drawer. And I can see that this module is 8 weeks long. And we'll go into some of the content within each week in just a moment. But on the center of the page, we've got a nice clear display of the content. We've got a welcome message, giving me the learning outcomes for the module, and an overview of what to expect over the next 8 weeks. The format of the modules is consistent throughout your program. So as you are enrolled in different modules throughout the program, the same navigation is in the same place, the lecturer's office is in the same place, and the design there will hopefully you become familiar with the platform, and actually using the technology becomes really intuitive, and you can focus your time and efforts on the content and on working through the study materials. Every module is supported by a lecturer, and the lecturers are there to support you with any academic queries you might have about the content for the module. So as Ida mentioned in her presentation, these are lecturers with PhDs. They often have industry experience, and they are the subject matter expert for that particular module. and they have contact details and a biography and a space for you to engage with that lecturer through the taught module. Every module has a space for any additional resources that might wrap around the whole module. So for example, there's a social space for a student lounge. There's information about how the module is graded. There might be a glossary of key terms. Perhaps it's a technical module and there's some key terms that we need students to understand for the whole module. So it's a space for any additional resources that you might need throughout the 8 weeks. Every module also has a schedule, obviously, so there's a clear start and end date to the module. And we have a clear deadline details page to present to students the assessed deadlines that happen throughout the module. And at this point, I'll talk a little bit about assessment because it's quite important for the online programs in how we assess students. So in this example, you can see that there are 4 pieces of assessment spread throughout the 8 weeks. So first of all, I've got a discussion forum that lasts for 3 weeks. And I'll show you that example in just a second when I look at the first week of content. But I've got 3 deadlines to hit over the first 3 weeks where I'm asked to contribute to the forum and then respond to my peers over those 3 weeks. I'm then asked to give or to prepare a poster presentation. So in week 5, I'll be asked to submit a poster presentation. Again, this could be reviewed by my classmates. It would be reviewed by the lecturer who will give me feedback and a grade. But it's a different format of assessment. So first of all, we've got a discussion forum, then a poster presentation. We then have another forum. So the forums are also a really good opportunity for you to engage with your fellow students who are based all over the world from all sorts of different backgrounds. They bring a really global dimension to the online programs. It's quite unique to online and a real valuable part of the module. And then finally, in this module, we've got an essay that's due at the end of week 8. And we can see here the deadlines are quite clear. And these deadlines also populate your calendar that's built into the VLE, which you can download and plug into your Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar. So you've got a clear set of milestones throughout the module. After each of these assessment points, you also receive feedback from the lecturer within a week of the deadline. And this is really important because it means that you can apply the feedback that you receive throughout the module to your next piece of assessment. So you're constantly getting feedback from your lecturer, but also from your classmates. It's a really engaging experience. Rather than having one big essay at the end, we break that assessment up over various points throughout the module. And again, there are other formats of assessment. It could be a reflective piece. It could be that you're asked to produce perhaps a piece of code or another form of presentation. It just depends on the module for how we assess, but there's a wide variety. This module has a series of seminars as well. So these are live synchronous sessions that are spaced throughout the module. Not every program has live seminars, and the computer science program does. This is an opportunity for you to meet your lecturer and your classmates in a Zoom room. We use Zoom to hold these sessions. If you can't attend the session, that's fine. We record all these sessions and the lecturer will post the recording out afterwards, so you can always listen back to the recording afterwards. The only program where there's a requirement for live session attendance is on our MBA, where you'll find there's lots of opportunities to engage in live synchronous sessions. But on the MBA, because of our AMBER accreditation, it's a requirement that students do attend a certain amount of live sessions throughout that MBA program. But again, we give you lots of opportunities to do that over the duration of the program. And then now I'm on to a week of study. So in week 1, we've got a topic, some introductory text, and then some activities and resources to work through as a student. So I'll show you a couple of examples here of what these resources look like. The first resource in this week is a lecturecast. So if I click this, you should be able to see the lecturecast on my screen. Now, this is our version of a traditional lecture, but instead of presenting students with an hour-long piece of video, we've broken that content up into smaller pieces, and we present that in video, short activities, pieces of text, bits of audio. It depends what the content's about, really. But we start here. You can see also it's saved where I'm up to, so I can come back to this and work through it at my own pace. But I go back to page 1, and we start with a piece of video. And I'll I'll just mute it, but there's a voiceover going at the back of this. You can see the video here is only quite short. It's only 3-4 minutes long. There's narration. There may be some graphics on the screen. Perhaps we've illustrated a process, or we've annotated some kind of diagram. It really depends on what the content is about for how we present this. But the idea is that there's a variety of formats of media to keep students engaged throughout the lecture. So you can see we start with a video, and as I work down, I've got an interactive timeline, so it's a piece of text. And if we just skip forward slightly, at the end of this section, we've also got a knowledge check, so a multiple choice or a fill in the blank check your knowledge section. Really an opportunity for me to just check that I've understood the content that's gone before. So rather than a passive lecture experience, we've got this interactive multimodal lecturecast experience. And normally you'd see one of these lecturecasts every week within the talk modules. So if I go back to week 1, there's the lecturecast, and I could, I can mark that as complete when I've worked through that entire activity. We've got a couple more activities here. I won't show them all because I'm pressed for time, but we've got a poll where students are asked to vote on a topic, and then a discussion forum based off that poll. We've got a reading list. So here I've been directed to some reading. This is where I can then link straight to the library as well. So I can go to the library to access all these resources online. So I don't need to go and buy any textbooks. It's all provided through the learning platform. And this week I've also got an assessed discussion forum. So I'll just quickly show you this activity as it's one of our assessed activities in this module. So we've got some introductory text for each week, and then some instructions on how to engage with the forum. So I simply click on add a new topic. I type my subject in the field there. I type my message. I'll post that message to the forum, and then over the duration of that forum, I'll see other students reply to my message, and I can reply to them. I can subscribe to email notifications to keep up to track with what's going on. But these forums are really a good opportunity to engage with one another. And obviously the lecturer will also be involved in these discussion forums to keep them on track, to keep the forum moving forward. And then the pattern repeats. So each week there'll be a different topic, different lecture, perhaps a seminar, perhaps a different reading list. It really depends on the content. But you can see it's quite simple to move through and work through those weeks, that content. I'll stop sharing there. Hopefully it gives you a sense of what it's like to study one of our modules on the learning platform. But I'll stop sharing and pass over to my colleague, Megan, who's going to talk about student support, I hope. Thank you.
So hello, thank you for that, Stephen. So yeah, I'm Megan from the student support team at Liverpool. And if we can just go on to the next slide, please. So yeah, we've got a range of different support teams here at Liverpool to help support students during their studies. So we've got the student support team, study skills support, student welfare, and student experience. So we appreciate that the online studies can be a bit more of an isolating and daunting experience for some. So students can always reach out to these teams if they ever require a bit of additional support. So that can be a case of any sort of like general queries, any sort of queries to do with academic skills, or to do with welfare and experience as well. So yeah, if we can just go on to the next slide. So yeah, to start off, we've got the student support team. So the student support team, we're always on hand to help students during their studies, specifically with any sort of non-academic matters. So if, for instance, if students are experiencing any sort of unexpected circumstances, we can have discussions with these students to see what we can do to help support them, especially looking at if for any reason they can't submit an assignment on time, or if they need a study break, or if they've got any general queries they're not too sure about, they can always reach out to the student support team, and we can help discuss those a little bit further and to see how we can support you. We can also
Megan, We can't hear you anymore. I think that there's some issues with your microphone. Maybe if you can try to switch it off and switch it on again.
Sorry.
Okay, we can hear now. Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
So yeah, sorry, I don't know where that cut me out then, unfortunately. So yeah, just to go over a little bit again. So yeah, with the student support team, here for sort of any non-academic queries, say the students are experiencing any unexpected circumstances, can always reach out to student support and we can have an open discussion about how we can support you further. As well, sort of any sort of technical queries. So if you can't access a certain resource on the learning platform, we can help look into that for you and get you back on track with the studies as well. And we can also help signpost students to different teams. So if for any reason we can't answer the question directly, we can always reach out to other teams and see how we can best support you. So yeah, we can be contacted via phone, email, and also a live chat function on the learning platform too. So students can reach out to us during office hours from Monday to Thursday from 8:30 till 7 p.m. UK time, and Fridays from 8:30 till 5 p.m. UK time. So yeah, if we just move on to the next slide, please. Another support team here at Liverpool is the study skills team. So they can help students with any sort of general academic skills, such as academic writing, referencing, reading, research, English language support as well. So on the learning platform, the study skills teams put together a list of really useful resources, and they're always more than welcome to arrange a one-to-one session if students ever need a bit of extra support. And they also run some workshops as well. So they host these quite regularly to look into one of these skill areas a bit more in detail, such as like with referencing. So it's always great if students can join those as well. As well, they can be contacted by phone or email, and their office hours are from 8:30 till 5 p.m. UK time from Monday to Friday. And just the next slide, please. We also have the student welfare team, so they're there to assist students if they're ever experiencing challenges with their mental health or well-being. So we have a dedicated welfare officer here that can help students to have open discussions about how they can be supported further. And there's also some resources on the learning platform to help students as well. We also have a dedicated disability support team here as well, so they can help students look at any challenges they may be facing during their studies, and they can help put in reasonable adjustments to ensure that they're receiving the relevant support that can help them succeed with their studies. Next slide, please. And another support team here as well is the student experience team. So they can help look at the wider student experience here at Liverpool. So they'll take into consideration student feedback, such as looking at social forums and looking at the results from end of module surveys as well. So that's where students, once they've completed a module, they'll fill out a short questionnaire about how they found the module and any feedback to help improve. So the student experience team will look into that, meet with other teams and see how they can improve the student learning experience. They'll also meet with student representatives as well to see how they can always improve the experience at Liverpool. And as well, they can help with looking into career opportunities. So on the learning platform, there's lots of useful resources about career opportunities, and it can help you discuss that a little bit further with them. And finally, the student experience as well, they're always there for graduations too. So again, they always value useful feedback to see how they've found their experience with Liverpool, and again, just to see where they can improve. So it's always useful to have that feedback there. But yeah, no, I'll now pass on to Riri to talk about the admissions process a little bit more.
Thank you, Megan. So next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm Riri Burns. I'm an admissions advisor for the University of Liverpool, and I'm just going to briefly go through the first steps when applying for a master's programme and going through the admissions process for when you start off your student journey as well. So next slide, please. Right, so the first steps, once you're ready to submit an application, you can do this via our website. So you would use a link on this slide here. You can easily find that on our website, and you should include the following documents with your application. So we'd need your ID, a CV, your degree certificates, and translations if necessary. We need a personal statement of around 300 words and evidence of English language as well. So this can be in the form of an IELTS test of 6.5 or above. We can accept TOEFL tests, and we also can consider some school certificates over a certain grade as well. If you don't have any of the above evidence in terms of English language, we do have a free university English test called KITE. So we can set you up on this KITE test upon receipt of your application. If you don't have all of the documents on the slide as well, we can accept your application with what you have, and then we would request further documentation if you need to send it in later. And the next slide, please. Thank you. So the admissions process usually starts when a student submits an inquiry about the programme of their choice. So you'll be assigned a dedicated admissions advisor who'll be able to answer your queries about the programme and make sure you're happy before you submit the application. It's completely free to apply, and you can do so via the website. Once you've applied and we've received all your documents, it will be reviewed by our admissions team and by your admissions advisor. Your application will then be sent to the director of the programme, which will usually take around 10 working days to receive an outcome on the application. So if it's successful, you will be notified by your admissions advisor with the good news, and you'll be issued an offer letter. So you would need to pay and accept within 14 days of receipt of the offer in order to be enrolled onto the programme. And the next slide, please. In terms of tuition fees for the programme, they do differ depending on which programme and which level of qualification that you're applying for. So the postgraduate award, which is 30 credits, the duration is 5 months, and the fees for 23-24 will be £2,677.50. The PG Cert, which is 60 credits, will be 10 months, and the amount will be 5,355. And the PG Diploma, which is 120 credits, will be 20 months and £10,710. And the next slide, please. For our master's programmes, these are all part-time and 30 months in duration, and they're all 180 credits each. So the fees are as follows. The Master of Science programmes are £16,065 for 23-24, along with the Master of Public Health programme, whereas the MBA programme does differ slightly, so that's £22,050, and all programmes can be paid for in monthly instalments as well. And the next slide, please. In terms of scholarships, so we do have scholarships available for our programmes. We have regional scholarships of up to 15% for international students based overseas, and these need to be in eligible countries. So if you do want to know if you are eligible for a further regional scholarship, you can inquire with our admissions team, and they should be able to help give advice on that. So you can reach the admissions team via live chat, you can submit an inquiry online, or we're happy if you want to give us a call as well. We also have a 5% upfront discount for students who aren't paying in monthly instalments and would prefer to pay upfront for their programme. We have a 20% management discount for the MSc Management programme at the moment, and a 15% MBA discount. We have a University of Liverpool alumni discount, which is 10%. So I would recommend getting in touch with the admissions team just to see if you are eligible. And as I said, we'll be happy to help with that if you contact us through the website. Thank you. So I'll hand back over.
Okay, so that basically concludes all of our slides for today, but we just wanted to say if you wanted to contact anybody about anything you've seen here, here's the link on the presentation. Okay, next slide, please. There we go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to our panelists. It would be, I think that is great presentation. Hello again. I see here we already have some questions from the participants. I'd like to remind you that there's still time to ask questions, and you can do so by writing it here in the Q&A box. So I'd say, let's start with the first one. If I have secured a level 7 diploma in international laws, can I go to the last 60 credits in this LLA course?
I'll pick that one up if you like. It's very unlikely, I'm afraid. However, we would consider some of the modules that you might have taken if you'd like to make an application, but the university regulations would not allow us to simply top up like that. But some of the knowledge that you've already got might be applicable. So if you'd like to make an application, we will certainly consider it.
Okay, thank you so much. And the second one is, does the PGCE academic practice is designed for working in higher education instead of PGCE for primary or secondary schools?
Yes, I'll pick that one up too. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it's designed for. So almost everybody on the program is already working in a higher education environment, and it's not designed for teaching for young people. It's designed for teaching for older people.
Great, thank you. And Francesco asks, hello, what level of English proficiency is required to study at the University of Liverpool?
I can answer that one. So it would be an IELTS test of 6.5 or above. And as I discussed in the presentation, we can also accept TOEFL. We can accept some school certificates dependent on the grade. So I would just advise asking your admissions advisor prior to applying, and we can offer the best guidance on that and also set you up on the KITE test if you don't have any English proficiency evidence as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And let's pass to the next one. If I have already taken some psychology exams in my country, is it possible to include them in my program and not have to take them again? Thanks.
Thank you for asking. I'm afraid not. Because of the accreditation requirements, we would require you to take all the assessments again. Having said that, I'm sure that any knowledge would be augmented. So what you bring to the group and what you bring to the other students would be really, really valuable. But we would have to take, you'd have to take all the assessments again.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's pass to the next one. Do you have scholarships for undergraduate international students?
We do. So we do have international scholarships discussed in the presentation. So we have international scholarships of up to 15%. So I recommend contacting the admissions team if you are hoping to receive an international scholarship. You won't have to apply for anything. They will automatically be applied to your payment plan if you are eligible. But again, the admissions team can offer the best guidance there.
Thank you. And the next one is, can I join the law course if I don't have any background about these studies? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. We would welcome you. What you would bring would be really interesting. And before I worked in this area, I was involved in a law recruitment program for another university, and that by definition, they took half of their postgraduate students from areas outside law, because they realized that different disciplines were really important for that subject area. So yes, absolutely, we would welcome an application.
Okay, I think that you have already partially answered to the next question. That was again about the scholarships for students, international students. Students ask us, I was about 3 scholarships as a student from sub-Saharan countries. And I don't know if you have specific information about this country.
We don't have any free scholarships at all. So it would just be of scholarships of up to 15%. But again, the admissions advisor would just have to check which country is of your current residence to apply the scholarship. You could also look into things like employer funding. We do accept employer funding as well for the program, so that might be an option there for this student.
Thank you so much. Let's go to the next one. Is there a student office available even if the courses are online, in case we have some more specific questions? Yeah, I think that Megan already answered this question, but if you want to ask something.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. So yeah, we've got the dedicated student support team that students can always reach out to if they've got any sort of general non-academic queries they're not too sure about. If it's slightly more academic, they can reach out to the module lecturers. So on the learning platform, there's a lecturer office, so you can see their office hours and you can arrange to have like a drop-in session and reach out to them if you've got any more sort of general academic queries.
Fantastic, thank you. The next one is students can receive also support to find accommodation.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Because the programs are online, we actually don't have any accommodation that's required. So no, that's not something we generally support.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're okay.
Okay, and about the next one is, can the admissions advisor help us in reviewing if the material that we have is acceptable, help in writing also the personal letter better?
Yeah, of course. So the admissions advisor is there for guidance and helping to answer any questions you have prior to applying. So we can review your evidence. We can't say if you are eligible or not, as it does have to go through the director of the programme, but we can give you advice and guidance there. I believe there is also blog posts on the website, so I would highly recommend looking through those because there are quite a few useful ones for when you are writing the personal statement. So I think that's a good idea to have a look on the website as well for help.
Thank you. And Kirsty asks, can I please ask what percentage of fees the deposit is?
So it would be the first monthly instalment for the programme. So we call it the deposit, but it is towards your programme. So it's the first monthly payment. You wouldn't be paying any extra for the programme at all. It would be inclusive of the fees.
Okay, great. And another question is, are any of the computer science programs partially accredited for C engineering requirements as well as CITP?
At the moment, they are not. However, we are looking at additional accreditation. But so they're accredited at the moment by the British, the Association for IT, or the BPS, the BCS in the UK is also known. But there might be more opportunities for accreditation as we move forward, as we are looking at those opportunities.
Okay, thank you so much. And Francisca gives us some more backgrounds. I have only high school certificate and pharmacy council certificate as medicine counter assistant. What course can do there?
I can see the students also asked if they can do a nursing course as well. So in terms of nursing courses, we don't offer any nursing programs. We do have a MSc in healthcare leadership and a Master of Public Health. If a student doesn't hold a bachelor's degree, they would need sufficient work experience for the program as well. So I would say it would be best to contact the admissions team again to discuss in detail about your previous work experience, just so we can offer the best guidance there.
Great, thank you so much. Let's go to the next one. When the courses are online, how to conduct the examination? Thanks.
I should have covered this earlier, so thank you for raising this. Almost all the assessments are coursework. There's only a couple examinations in a couple limited programs. So we don't have formal examinations. All the coursework is assessment by papers, essays, PowerPoint slides, or things like that. So there's no examinations.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is, hello, is there a full scholarship for Master of Public Health? Thank you.
So there wouldn't be a full scholarship, but I believe at the moment we do have a 20% health scholarship for the Master of Public Health and Healthcare Leadership for students who are currently working in a health-based role. So I would say the best thing to do there is, again, contact the admissions team, or when you are applying, we would send that off for review just to make sure you are eligible for the scholarship there, but we don't have any free or fully funded scholarships.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is, hi, what is the typical pace of study for the Masters in Finance and Investment Management? Is it first module per 8 weeks? Is it possible to accelerate the completion of the Masters by adding extra modules as and when the students has free time?
I'm afraid that the programs are structured so that you take one module at a time, and at the moment we don't allow students to take more than that. Going on to your next question as well about a break, students can decide the pace of their studies. So even though you can't go much faster, you can go slower if you want to. So there isn't, there are breaks between modules as well. So there could be a 1, 2, or sometimes a 3-week break between the modules scheduled. So when, if you decide to make an application and you go forward, we can send you a schedule about how long things take.
Okay, thank you. And next one is about a specific course. I'm living in the USA. In my country, I studied criminology and I want to continue studying. Is the entire course online? I think, yes, we have the confirmation. And the other one is, if I took my undergraduate program in English, is there a need for English proficiency? Yes. But maybe if you want to specify something more.
Sure. So we would require English language proficiency. If you have previously studied in English and you have evidence of this, we can also consider this. But again, it would just depend on what program you are applying for, as everyone has slightly different requirements. So we would just have to send that off to the director to review that.
Okay, great. The next one is also about the fees for UK students. Are the fees the same for UK students and international students?
So I believe at the moment UK students receive a 10% discount. So we have all different discounts and scholarships available at the moment. So it would slightly differ depending on your current country of residence. So again, it's probably best to give the admissions team a call, or again contact us through our website through live chat, and we can offer guidance dependent on where you are currently living.
On that, we've just added the discount and scholarships link into the chat in case anyone wanted to have a look as well.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hayley. And the last one is with regard to English requirements. Do you have a waiver for students who have studied in English for over 20 years and hold LLB with the intention of reading masters in international law and arbitration?
Again, so if you've previously studied in English, we can consider that towards entry requirements. We would just have to double check what evidence it is first. But I do recommend discussing it with the admissions team or applying, and we can have a look at what documents you hold.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that we answered all the questions we had in the Q&A box. And first of all, I want to thank our panelists for the interesting debate and thank everyone for joining us and for your questions. I'd like to remind everyone interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Docsity that you can click on the link that I'm sending in the chat right now and request it. And before we say goodbye, I'd like to ask our panelists if they would like to leave our participants with a message.
Oh, that's tricky. I put on the spot. I would say if you've got any further questions, our admissions team are just amazing. So follow up with the team to get more insight. But studying online is a really exciting, engaging experience. It's you become part of a learning community, and so if you're interested, follow up your interest with the admissions team to learn more.
Yeah, I've added the email onto the chat also, just in case anyone wants to send over an email. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks again to our speakers and everyone connected with us today. And I hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by Docsity. Goodbye, everyone, and have a nice day.